Okay, so let's just jump right in. Imagine this, a country that's about to add more college students in the next 5 years than the entire population of Australia. It's mind-boggling. But at the exact same time, it's staring down the barrel of a massive disruption from artificial intelligence, one that could either create millions of new jobs or, well, wipe them out. This is the story of India's incredible, high-stakes gamble to reboot its entire education system for the age of AI.
And this quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the central challenge here. You have this gigantic pipeline of talent, 40 million students, but a huge portion of them aren't quite ready for the modern workforce. So the big question is, how do you bridge that gap? It's a puzzle that businesses, educators, and the government are all desperately trying to solve.
So yeah, where do you even begin to tackle a problem of this scale? Let's start by looking at it as a puzzle, a massive, incredibly complex opportunity that, let's be honest, everyone wants a piece of.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how this slide shows the view from the outside looking in. Let's say you're a global edtech company, we'll call it Edisphere Global. Your growth in your usual markets is kind of flattening out. Then you look at India, and the numbers are just staggering. But it's not just the sheer number of students, it's this jaw-dropping fact that 70% of graduates are said to lack industry-ready skills. For a company like Edisphere, that's both a goldmine of an opportunity and a massive, massive risk. But here's the thing. Numbers on a spreadsheet, they only ever tell you part of the story, right? To really get a handle on this puzzle, you have to get your boots on the ground and understand the reality of what's happening.
So our fictional company does just that. They send in a consultant, Ronak, to actually talk to the people deep inside the system, the university leaders, the deans, and maybe most importantly, the students themselves.
And what's the first thing he finds? Right at the very top, there's a ton of ambition. This vice-chancellor, he wants to collaborate globally. He sees the future, but he feels like his hands are tied by slow-moving policy. So you've got this real desire for change, but it's bumping up against a system that makes it really difficult. Then he digs a little deeper, and a dean of partnerships points out another crucial layer to this puzzle. It's not just about the folks at the top signing a deal. Here's the kicker. If the faculty, the people who are actually in the classrooms teaching, if they aren't on board, the whole thing is pretty much doomed to fail. That internal alignment has to come first. And then we get the most brutally honest take of all. The student. This just cuts right to the chase. It doesn't matter how fancy a global certificate sounds. If it doesn't lead to a better job, if HR departments don't care about it, then it's just not worth the money. It has to deliver real, tangible, career-focused value, period. So after all these conversations, Ronak's big takeaway is crystal clear. There's no simple one-size-fits-all solution here. The universities, they want prestige, but they're scared of the regulations. The faculty, they need to actually believe in what they're teaching. And the students, well, they need a clear return on their investment. It's a system with everyone pulling in different directions.
Okay, so we've got this complicated picture on the ground. But while all of this was happening, the Indian government was cooking up its own massive top-down solution to fix these exact problems. Welcome to the Great Education Reboot. And this is it, the National Education Policy of 2020. Or NEP for short. Now, this isn't just some minor policy tweak. We are talking about one of the most ambitious education reforms happening anywhere on the planet. The goal is to fundamentally redesign the entire system from the ground up, breaking down old rigid structures and getting students ready for the future, not the past.
So how does this actually help with the issues Ronak found? Well, one of the key ideas is all about flexible learning. Under the NEP, a student can study for just 1 year and leave with a certificate. 2 years gets you a diploma, and so on. This is a direct answer to that student's concern about value, right? It recognizes learning at every single step, even if someone can't finish a full 4-year degree.
And the engine driving this whole reboot? It's technology. And you just have to look at the scale here. It's absolutely insane. Swayam, which is the national online course platform, has over 51 million enrollments. The National Digital Library has over 80 million resources. This is not just a policy sitting on a piece of paper. It's a massive digital infrastructure project designed to bring education to every single corner of the country.
And the reforms don't stop there. They connect directly back to those other challenges we saw. The Academic Bank of Credits, that lets students transfer credits between universities, giving them ultimate flexibility. And hey, remember that vice-chancellor who wanted global partnerships? Well, the NEP is now actively encouraging top foreign universities to set up shop in India, and for Indian schools to expand abroad. The system is finally starting to open up, but on its own terms.
But just as India began this monumental task of overhauling its education system, a new force appeared on the horizon, one that's ready to disrupt everything all over again. And that force is artificial intelligence.
And let me tell you, the stakes could not be higher. According to a major report, by 2031, India is facing two completely different futures. The worst-case scenario? It could lose 1.5 million tech jobs to AI. But in the best-case scenario, if it plays its cards right, it could create 4 million new ones. Talk about a crossroads.
The problem is, right now, there's a huge AI talent gap. I mean, just look at this chart. The current supply of people with AI skills in India is only about half of what the industry actually needs. This gap, this is the central battleground for India's future in the tech economy, and the clock is ticking.
And this isn't some abstract, far-off idea. We're talking about real jobs. Routine roles like junior QA engineers or basic coders are at a really high risk of being automated. But at the same time, you've got these brand new, super specialized roles popping up. Things like ethical AI specialists and quantum machine learning engineers. The very definition of what a tech job is, it's being completely rewritten as we speak.
So what's the game plan? It's a proposed national India AI talent mission. You can think of it as a full-court press to close that talent gap. And this isn't just about teaching more students how to code. No. Embedding AI fluency means training doctors to use AI for diagnostics or lawyers to use AI for research. It means building an entire ecosystem to attract the world's best researchers, all while launching a massive reskilling engine for the millions of people already in the workforce.
Which brings us to the final, absolutely critical question. You've got this massive top-down government reboot that's trying to solve the complex realities on the ground, but now it's being slammed by the exponential, breakneck speed of AI. The entire outcome will depend on whether this giant, centrally planned education overhaul can actually be nimble enough to adapt in real time. Can it happen fast enough to turn the AI threat into India's greatest opportunity? That right there is the billion-person question.